Okay, there we are. I loaded. Matchmaking 24/7. Okay, awesome. That's fucking cool. I'm so glad. Let's go. Added a new behavior system. Players can temporarily lose access to certain capabilities in the game. Ah, they added behavior score. Oh shit. Low priority queue. Nice. You can no longer get 2-2 on either side. That's cool. AFK players will now be automatically kicked out after a few minutes. Fair enough. Added custom hotkeys per heroes. Awesome. Lots of people wanted this. Dinner pocket, calm down. We're not there yet. Relax. Added Literal Spirit Projects to the urn. That's a huge change, dude. That's a huge change. The fuck? Where are the legs? They messed up. They did the change backwards. Yes, I. They fucked up. Everything's broken in this patch. Where the fuck are the legs? See the legs when it's on your back? Oh, you're right. It's got fucking legs when it's on my back. Who gives a fuck about that? I thought this is fucking like Glorp friend, but this is fucking like shit pot friend. Yeah, look. The fucker doesn't even have legs. Fucking most important change in the patch, and they fucked it up. Oh my fucking. Spacebar no longer cancels abilities. Abilities can now be pressed again to cancel. Yes! Yes! Oh, thank you. This is such a good change. Thank the Lord. Space was so annoying because it meant that you would automatically try and like vault over something when you pressed it near an object. It was really annoying. Resto shot got buffed. I called it. New effects, new effects. Revised silencer and cost. Okay, these two are the ones that are most important. Actually, these three maybe. Now you can like easily tell what the opponent's doing and whether stuff is happening with these three items. So silencer you can hear now on cost. And duration. Duration is really important for silencer. Being able to hear when the silencer ends when you're in like E-shift or something as pocket is really big. Rebirth, so people won't forget about it so much, and infuser, so you know what's happening. That's probably a nice change. A lot of people forgot about this. Okay. Gameplay. Orbs now favor the claimer rather than the denier when both okay. This is probably a big buff for playing on ping if I had to guess. But I think this means that like you'll have an easier time CSing. In general, this change is pretty minimal, except it'll make it harder to get owned on lane really hard. I mean, more often lanes are going to be more even. Flex stop move from first walker to two walkers. Ooh, interesting. All ability and item cooldowns increased by 6% globally. Wow. That's a really interesting change. That's really strange. This nerf is like much bigger to some things than others. So I wonder if we're going to see some balance changes afterwards. Because immediately in my head I'm thinking, this is like a much bigger nerf to like heroes that rely on their longer cooldown alts than it is to heroes that like, you know, don't so much. Or like don't care so much about like cooldowns or their cycles, or they just need to press their spells once or something, you know? So like say Talon or a Pocket, you care about this a lot. So I really wonder how this is going to play out. Shield regeneration time reduced from 60-second to 50-second. This is a slight nerf to things like technically to like Veil Walker, right? Because you no longer like have to wait as long for it to regenerate naturally. So it makes you less inclined to buy Veil Walker when you already have barriers. Jumping shootout lockup period reduced. This makes jumping a better option more often. Rope climbing speed increased from 13 to 14. Okay. Taking non-dot damage while on a rope slows you by 30%. Nice. Really good change. This was so frustrating when you had some guy fucking running from you and they climb up a fucking rope and they're just a getaway. Improved melee hit registration. Thank the Lord, man. There are so many times when he's fucking meleeing you and it doesn't hit and you parry and then you get fucked for it because they miss their fucking punch. There's so many times that like you punch somebody and then like it just doesn't hit them and you're like, what the fuck? They didn't parry shit. Mid-boss warning now happens at 60% instead of 50%. This makes it easier to contest mid-boss more often. It's not that big of a change though, because normally you know when they're doing mid-boss anyway. Walker Beam, max range. The C portion after target required reduced from 20%. Okay, so this means it'll follow you less. This is really good. Sometimes you're like diving early game, and like the Walker Beam would like hit you like when you're out at the fucking like big camp almost, you know? Like on that side, if you guys know where I'm talking about on the map. Successful parry CD reduced from 0.5 to 0.25. This is like nice if you're trying to stop mid-boss deals and stuff like this, I guess. Fixed alt fires, not working with conditional bonuses, like when there's multiple heroes. I didn't know this didn't work. That's interesting. So like Yamato close range was like bad if you wanted to press right click or whatever. Or like Viscous. Melee trooper hitbox improved. Medic troopers sometimes using the heal on Guardian boss. Nice! This was fucking annoying. Sometimes you had a medic trooper and you just weren't getting healed by it, and you were like, fuck. This is a really good patch so far. I'm really happy. Multiple heroes, getting power-ups, nice. Fix your gun reloading to a smaller magazine when reloading with high ammo than your max. Okay, that's good. So now like you don't get punished for pressing R like an animal. Headshot booster, bonus damage reduced from 45 to 40. This item was broken, so I'm glad they nerfed it a little. IVL mag, nerfed as well. Restorative shot buffed by 5 on both? Dude. Resto shot is so busted now. It's not even pocket. This item is just busted full stop. Okay, let's just think about the EHP value for this for a second. So when you have healing, right? Heals 370 over 17 seconds, okay? And it's on like a minute cooldown, 75-second cooldown, something like this. This means you're healing. If you press it on cooldown and you hit a hero, which on the shotgun heroes is really easy, on a lot of heroes it's really easy to hit a hero consistently with this. Like pretty close to the cooldown. Say you do it every like 7 seconds or whatever. So like it matches roughly the healing rate cooldown. You're healing 450, that's 450 HP over 70 seconds. That is more HP than a healing right, while you're like shooting people and farming creeps and doing stuff. That's insane value. This item is so unbelievably busted now, it's like bonkers. Wow, that's crazy. Oh, sorry, 40, not 45. My bad, 400 only. Sorry. Still insane. It was already ridiculous. It already gave like the same HP as healing right. Now it gives more. And it gives you damage. And it has 6% bullet resist, or 7%, whatever it is. I think it's 7. It's crazy. This is such a broken item. Hollow point damage increased by 2%. Nice. This is a good buff for this item too. There might be a world where you go resto shot hollow point now, like a lot of games. This might be really, really good. Like the 2 damage is really nice. Plus you have like higher HP consistently because resto shot's better. Rapid rounds, fire rate reduced, but max health punishment is gone. That's an interesting change. I think the issue with rapid rounds is like now it's a 9% fire rate increase. And what is extra stamina is like a 7% or something, right? But we'll see. Maybe they change that too. Active reload, nerfed 2% on the lifesteal. Okay. Spirit damage now considers bullet fall off on Mystic Shot. That's a big nerf to this item, early game at least. Honestly, through the whole game. A lot of the reason you buy this item is so that you can consistently have an extra way to do damage from range with Spirit, right? So you can like maybe proc a burst or something. If you can still consistently proc a burst with it, it's probably good still. With pocket, I mean, specifically I'm talking about. In general, this item like it still is like a really good efficient damage item. And in fact, in a lot of ways, it's probably better now. Because proccing it every 5 seconds is insane. This can be an interesting change. I wonder how this pans out. My hunch is for a lot of the heroes, this item might be a lot stronger. And this item was already really strong on a lot of heroes. Because like I feel like Yamato wants this change, right? Like a 5-second Mystic Shot cooldown on Yamato sounds ridiculous, right? Like some heroes like that. Berserker nerfed 1% of the bullet resist. That's okay. I think the item's fine. Currently, it looks like all the stuff that I liked got buffed. So we're currently looking really good. But we'll see how we go. We might not be always. I'm sure there's some stuff I'm not going to like. Long range bullet shield increased. Okay. Soul Shredder. Weapon damage increased by 1%. They love me. They love me. Yoshi loves me, man. Yoshi loves me. Fleetfoot. Active move speed reduced from 4 to 3. Okay. Cooldown reduced, but to compensate. And health increased. That's interesting. Just like a little worse probably, but I think it's still good. Warp Storm reintroduced by 2 meters. I knew you weren't getting out scot-free, boys. I knew we weren't getting out scot-free. Heroic Aura, active movement speed reduced from 3 to 2. I think Heroic Aura is still really, really good, but you know, I'm glad it got something. It was pretty fucking strong. Burst Fire and Upper provides 70 health. Lovely. Burst Fire Bros eating good. 1% nerf on Hunter's Aura bullet resist reduction. Bullet health increased by 25 on Sharpshooter. Okay, all these changes are like minor, but they can have some impact. Spirit power increased by 4 on Alchemical Fire. This is a nice buff for Alch Fire. This item feels a little weird to buy a lot of the time, but I think it can be good. I'm kind of interested in seeing if people buy it more now. Crippling Headshot debuff duration reduced from 5 to 4. Okay. Bonus damage increased from 80 to 90%. That's a pretty big buff. This is a pretty big buff, right? This doesn't mean like 80 to 90% weapon damage. Like most weapon damage buffs you get, it'll like increase your thing. Because this is bonus number. This is like of your damage, right? So if you have 150% weapon damage, this is 90% of that, right? As opposed to 80% of that extra. So I think this is a pretty big buff. Blast Cannon max stacks increased by 2. Okay. Silencer damage increased. Wow, really? A buff on Silencer? I thought this item was pretty good. I thought people really liked Silencer a lot of the games. I'm really surprised this item got a buff. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, the item's a little better now. But Silencer was already really good, and you didn't really buy it for the damage. Having 5% more helps and is nice, but I don't think like people are, or like despairing over this item being too broken now. I think it's pretty much in the same spot. Just a little nicer to buy. Frenzy Link Iteration increased. They buffed Frenzy? Bro, this item was good. This item was really good. Frenzy's crazy now, right? It's gotta be. I thought Frenzy was already really good. I just think you buy this so many heroes a lot of the time right now. Healing Right now grants +3 power. They buffed Healing Right as well? Dude, they love my items. I think we're buying Healing Right pretty much every game with +3 spirit, by the way. But, I mean, do you even need it now? Because Restorative Shell gives more HP. Fuck, man. It's so hard. The items are so good now. Spirit Lifesteal increased by 2% on Enduring Spirit? What the fuck? They love me. They love me, man. Every item I buy is getting buffed. Melee Lifesteal. Melee damage reduced from 15 to 13%. Okay. Health Nova now requires Healing Right. Now requires... Dude! What? This is really interesting. So this is a nerf to Health Nova, actually, because it costs 500 more. But I think it's a buff a lot of the time, kind of. Because now it means on lane you buy, it's a nerf, it's a nerf, it's a nerf. But it doesn't feel so bad. Because you want to buy Healing Right on lane, and now you buy Healing Right into Health Nova, and it kind of lets you sustain until you get a Health Nova. So like, it feels less bad to like rush Health Nova, kind of. Even though it technically is worse. I don't know, I don't think it gets that mad. Health Nova still though. I think this item is really, really powerful still. I'm kind of surprised I did this change, because I didn't see people buying Health Nova that much in a lot of games. But I thought this item was really broken, so, you know, I'm kind of glad it gets nerfed. Divine Barrier loses 40 on both, so that's 80 EHP lost on Divine Barrier. Item's still pretty good. Possibly really good still. Honestly, I don't know if 80 HP is enough. This item's like kind of crazy before. Rescue Beam. Heal reduced by 4%. That's a pretty reasonable nerf already. Cost range reduced. That's a pretty big nerf. But it's 500 cheaper, I guess, is the upside. Yeah, Health Nerf is the AoE heal. Yeah. So it was a really good item, but people tended to skip it a lot. I wonder if support Vindicta's dead. This cost range nerf can hit Vindicta pretty bad for support, maybe. Like, you have to be so much closer, you know? Oh, might have missed our opportunity, guys. The cost range was absurd? It was, but it was funny. So, you know. Fortitude. Lane troopers do not reset the passive regen timer. This is a really nice buff for this item. I still feel like it's awkward to buy a lot of the time for a lot of heroes, but maybe it has a better place now. Life Drag, melee damage reduced from 40% to 35%. Okay. Majestic Leap, cooldown reduced by 2 seconds. Okay. Metal Skin, cooldown reduced by 2 seconds. This is an interesting change. These are some nice changes to some of these, like, Metal Skin changes. It's, like, pretty interesting, I think. There's a build that I used to do that might come back for Pocket. The OGs remember. By that I mean the people that fucking played the game with me in Discord. But we used to have a build where we'd go, like, max cooldown reduction, max duration extender, Metal Skin E-shift, and then we'd just sit and be, like, unkillable. Like, you cannot shoot me. I'm E-shifting every 2 seconds. I have fucking Satchel on, like, 5-second cooldown with, like, 3-second duration. It was actually longer back then. It was more broken. We might try that again. With this 2-second buff, it might be real. Inhibitor. Fixed damage reduction on bullets not being reduced by a percentage properly. I don't know if this is a buff or a nerf, but it's probably good. Colossus. Radius increased from 10 to 12 meters. That's a big change. So 2-meter radius extra is actually like really big. And that's the slow, right? Colossus got a lot better. I think this item was already like pretty okay a lot of the time. So like I'm interested that they did this change. I think this item is probably pretty good a lot of the time. It still has the same problem though, which is not that you don't want the item, but that it's hard to buy because it takes up a vitality slot. It's CC300 or CC200 now. And also takes up an active slot. These are things that like not many heroes could afford to lose one of all of these things. The souls, the vitality slots, and the active slots, right? You know, it's hard to like lose all these things. But with being a little bit better, it's probably easy to buy some of the time now. Wow. Sorry, I just read the next note. Phantom Strike, damage reduced by half, so that's from 150 to 75. And the Spirit Power scaling reduced from 2 to 1. So Phantom Strike is cut in half the damage. This item got it. Ido bros in shamble. Idorian bros are fucking cooked, man. They're like, fuck! Fuck! I can't just burst someone from fucking full HP. How do I play Pocket now? Overall, this change was super justified. Phantom Strike was a fucking ridiculous item. I don't know if you guys saw. I was buying this item on like any hero I could in the game. I bought this item on Geist. I bought this item on fucking Viscous. Okay, Viscous is still real with Phantom Strike, but I was buying this item on anybody. I had a meme. This was the build you go on any hero is you buy Phantom Strike, you buy like Warpstone, you buy like Silence Glyph. Monkrill one-shotting people with it no more. Well, I mean, he still just Phantom Strikes ult you probably die. So, you know. Soul Rebirth no longer grants 20% weapon damage, and cooldown reduced by 3% on it. This is justified nerf. This item was crazy good. Jewels, so far have been buffed overall, I think. We're doing good so far. Unstoppable, fixed on preventing disarm properly. Okay, so Unstoppable is fixed a bit. It had a bug. Spirit Strike, melee damage reduced, debuff duration reduced, Spirit Shield reduced, regen reduced. Okay, so that got worse. Mystic Reach, buffed resist by 1% and buffed range by 1%. Dude, they love my early game. They love my early game items. Extra spirit buffed by 1 spirit. Nice. That item's getting better. This item like is getting like to like a number where like it starts looking really good. Because this means it's net total like what, 14 spirit, right? Because it has like the 5 base from it being a tier 1 spirit item. Is it 5 or 4? Like 14, 13? Something like that. It's like getting to like the point that it might be like a real consideration a lot of the time. Ammo Scav. Neutral kills now count as soul capture. Buff duration increased from 35 to 40 seconds. Ooh. The 35 to 40 second change seems bigger than the neutral creep one. I wonder how real this item is. I really do. Numerically, this item seems really good, but I feel like it's like a consideration to buy, and it's like hard to play with. And okay, specifically for pocket for this part, it feels awkward to buy for the ammo because you already have 2 ways to reload your weapon while you're pressing spells. So like you're getting full efficiency while reloading. So like it feels awkward to buy an item that helps with ammo. But if the spirit power is like so value as it sounds like it might be now, it might be worth buying it anyway. Withering Whip, or fire rate slow, increased from 30% to 40%. So Withering Whip got a bit better. That's nice. I think this item's already pretty good, to be honest. I see about like sometimes. Slowing case projectile speed increased by 20%. That's a pretty big buff, I think. I felt like a lot of the time, like you were able to almost react to slowing hex, or maybe even react to slowing hex and like warpstone or press your spell or do something to get out first. This change makes it so that's less likely to happen more often. Quicksilver reload damage increased from 50 to 65. Warden buff? Yeah, it is a Warden buff. There's a lot of heroes buff though. I think this is a nerf to heroes with the mobility stuff that they rely on, like Pocket, Shiv, these kind of heroes. They got like a little worse from this. Quicksilver reload damage. This is an interesting change. The damage of this item is getting like pretty serious for a 1250 item. For a 1250 item that gives you like a reload and fire rate buff as well. This 65 damage on a spell extra is like, that's like not something to scoff at. I think it's a very real item on some heroes now. Like Wraith maybe like really wants this item like really badly now. Because it gives you fire rate too, right? You know, like you kind of want that shit. Might be back to this item being real. I don't know. Surge of Power. Ooh, imbutability now grants 10% fire rate when used for the same 60 seconds as the movement speed buff. That's an interesting change. I noticed people stopped buying Quicksilver Reload all of a sudden. People stopped buying Quicksilver Reload way back when they nerfed the cooldown from like 3 seconds, like 15 or whatever it was. Who wants Surge of Power? Oh yeah, 7. That's true. 7 really wants this. Anyone else? Is it just 7? Is this just a 7 buff? I can't think of that much more. I can see Yamato sometimes wanting this, but it seems pretty rare. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing. It's interesting though. I think it's a cool change. I'm interested to see how it pans. Rapid Recharge now grants 12% weapon damage. Improved Burst. Damage reduced from 10% of max HP to 9%. This change matters. I think this is another Idorian nerf, to be honest, more than me. This means that Rushing Burst is worse again, but for Pocket specifically, it gets amped still, so like it's really good. And late game, 9% of HP is still a lot. Improved Reach. Spirit Power increased from 6 to 8. Nice little buff to that item. Torment Pulse, more health on it. And Silence Glyph, Spirit Shield reduced by 50. It felt like you weren't really buying Silence Glyph for the Spirit Shield. It was a nice thing to have, but losing 50 out of it, still the item's really good, I think. Echo Shot and Spirit Power increased by 4. That's a nice buff to this item. Echo Shot just feels awkward to buy. I feel like the stats of it like aren't comparable to the stats of other tier 4 spirit items, but it feels like hard to justify buying it so often. It's very strange. Okay, onto the hero changes. Abram has fixed seismic impact, setting suck on ceilings. Shoulder charge turn rate reduced by a bit. That's nice. I felt like he was able to turn too much into you. Infernal resilience reduced a little, and shoulder charge stun duration decreased from 1 second to 0.85. Woo! That's a bit of a change. Can you still charge melee? I assume not, right? Bebop. Uppercut no longer roots your hero during cast time, so you can move while uppercutting? Bebop can now keep firing if he jumps and his laser is already warmed up. Huh. Reverted recent change to make Hook have an alternate cast mode to pierce through allies/enemies. Oh wait, reverted recent change to make Hook. It had that? Hook range reduced from 35 to 30? I didn't know it had that. Hyper Beam now does splash damage in a 5-meter area around the thing. Oh, okay. That's a pretty big buff on the alt though. So that sounds like a huge nerf to Hook, but a pretty big buff to the alt. I wonder how that ends up panning out. Rejuvenating Aura no longer gets cancelled when stamina is used. Rejuvenating aura. Wow, so we can roll while he uses rejuve now. Rejuvenating aura. Ooh, okay. That's a big buff to Dynamo Heal. But a 0.2% healing increase nerf at the max level. Connect plus tier 1 slow reduced from 40% to 35. Okay, small nerf to that. And quantum entanglement cooldown increased by 1 second. Okay, so Dynamo got hit a little bit. Not very hard to be honest. Dynamo's still like really good, I think, right? He even got like a constellation buff here. And this is like not like a small constellation buff. Great talent. Fish issues with Taj shot, hitting behind walls, nice. Fix guided owl, damage going through buildings. Racism owls are slightly worse now, guys. Rain of arrows damage, weapon damage reduced from +7 to +4. From +7 to +5 nerfed. Bullet damage growth per boon increased from 1.46 to 1.8. Wow, okay. How does this pan out? How often are boons? Early game, you're a little weaker, but later on you probably get like stronger by a fair bit. I don't know if gun talent is killed. This change is interesting. I don't know how often boons are. This might be a buff later on. You need a lot of boons for it to pay off. Infernus base health lowered by 25. Infernus flame dash slow resistance increased by 30% to 50% though. So they're trying to find a balance where like you can kind of slow Infernus and flame dash, but like it's not like he's you know so easy to kill. And they're giving him the health reduction as well. I think this is a good change. Honestly, 625 is like a crazy amount of base HP for Infernus, I feel like. I feel like this hero like had too much HP like all the time. I'm glad he's got like a little bit less on lane. And I'm glad he got some kind of buff as well. Because I think the hero was pretty weak. Especially with like the flame dash build at least. It felt like you had to go gun exclusively. Ivy fixed some control issues when flying near a wall. Okay. Airdrop silent and slow debuff it reduced from 4.5 to 4 seconds. Fair enough. Arctic game fire rate slow decreased from 80% to 40%. Okay. But the movement speed slow only decreased by 10%. Okay. It's just saying like we want to be able to slow movement more, but we want them to be able to fight back during it more. I think that's a pretty good balance. I like the idea. Kelvin objectives and rejuvenators are now frozen and invulnerable when under frozen shelter. So you can't get rejuve for free anymore. Actually, if you time it right, you still get rejuve for free, right? Because an enemy like standing on top of dome will drop when dome drops, and if you punch, so that it hits when dome drops. Okay, so now it takes more skill to secure rejuve. You have to like actually think about it. When you press Kelvin ult on rejuve, you can't punch it immediately. It gets frozen. Oh, it doesn't even. It stops dropping. Oh. Okay, it stops dropping. Wow. So what I was saying was, I was thinking this might not matter because you could wait for your Kelvin ult to be disappearing and then start punching, you know? Like wait for it to just be about to disappear. But actually, when you ult, it stops the rejuvenator from dropping at all. No, okay. If you just have to press it closer to the end. Wow. That's awkward though. And then you have to do it like that. Wow, so you have to time it properly and you have to press it closer to the end. So it's nowhere near guaranteed anymore. You have to be like ultra careful pressing this, and you have to press it at the right time, in the right way, in the right situations. You don't get rejuve for free anymore in Kelvin. Can't you cancel the globe here? Oh yeah, you can cancel the globe so you can do like but this doesn't help you when you freeze it in midair. I don't know if you can do that mid melee. Let's check. So this helps with the second part stuffs, but this doesn't help with this, where it freezes here, and you can't punch it. You can cancel it mid-melee, yeah. So you can get it if you fucking press it at the last second. But they're gonna have had time to get into the thing by then. So it's not free. You can just time it arguably, it's not different. It's very different. It's super, super different. The difference between like ulting now and they can't contest and ulting like now and they still like, you know, it's still like kind of like a toss-up. They're still like, you know, So that's actually a big nerf. I read it and I was like, okay, so now you have to like use your brain a little bit as Kelvin. But actually it's like, no, now you don't get rejuve for free as Kelvin. It's way worse. The hero is like, it's a big nerf. I'm worried that this might be like a little harsh on Kelvin, to be honest, but we'll see. He's probably fine. He was really good. SMT3 damage increased from 22 to 26%. Dude, the goo has to be really good now, right? Dude, it has to be bomb build, right? Self-damage no longer consumes shields. That sounds good. This means we have a better time buying like Enchanter's Barrier or something if we wanted it. Which I think we want, right? Because that means we can kind of lose our HP, play for swap, and still have some kind of barrier from dying to something random. That sounds good. I don't know. I'm interested how these play out in game. This sounds like good though. Lash Death Slam now allows you to turn during the descent. Wow! This got so much easier to land. They nerfed the fuck out of Bullet. because fuck that shit. Strike damage, spirit scaling increased. Ground strike damage per meter scaling increased. So they're saying fuck Gunlash, go that spirit shit, man. And I am fucking on board 100%. Holy fuck, Gunlash was annoying. I'm so glad we're playing spells again. I'm gonna play more Lash next patch. Medical Spectre, radius reduced from 6 to 5. Rose with spirit power, that's interesting. Wonder how that plays out in game. Like, I wonder how big this can get. No longer can wall jump from spectral wall. Aw, that was kind of cool. I mean, wall range reduced from 7 to 6 meters. Okay. Spectral wall duration reduced from 6 to 5 seconds. Heavy barrage spirit scaling increased, and heavy barrage min range reduced from 7 to 6 meters. Okay. Many targets bullet travel speed increased. I don't know how these changes affect the hero, to be honest. I'm having a hard time reading this. I wonder if Heavy Barrage changes big for the spirit damage. I feel like it's hard to press this spell a lot of the time. I feel like it's really hard for fights to be set up in a way that is good in fights. And it makes you slightly faster at farming. It seems like a weird set of changes for the hero. Mo and Krill, camera zooms out a little bit more when unburrowing. Can cast Scorn while using combo. Wow! Holy fuck, Mo bros! We are back! We are fucking back! Dude, you are unkillable now. Holy fuck, man. Ult some motherfucker, they try and go on you? Scorn them. Fuck you guys. I'm the fucking goat, baby. I'm the Mo. Don't you know who I am? I'm the monkey, baby. You got it, boss. That's why you're the boss. Combo 0.25 second reduction on the tier 2 upgrade. That's fine. Paradox fixed issues with paradoxal swap hitting targets behind wall. Amper stack reduced by 1 second. Barrage slow reduced by 10%. Add a brief lockout period on flying cloak to prevent accidental double clicks. That's a nice change. I'm hoping hidden change they fix cloak pathing. If they fix cloak pathing, I'm okay with it. You can't suitcase into cape anymore? What are you testing? I was told that you can't do... Oh, whoa. Whoa! What did they do to my boy? Okay, these are not intended changes. Okay, you can't teleport to cloak at all. You can only do it instantly. Oh. They tried to make it so you can't do it instantly, but you can only teleport instantly. Now if you wait, you can't teleport to cloak. Oh shit, I gotta get out of here, boys. Fuck, let me go up. Boys, we might be cooked until they fix this. I think we're fine, guys. I don't think we're that worried about these changes. All I want is the pathing to be fixed on cloak, and I think we're completely okay. The item changes we got were really good for us. The only change we didn't like was the 3% nerf to soul rebirth, right? And like the phantom strike change a little. Guys, I think we're okay, Pocket Bros. I think we're good. Our items are looking clean as fuck this patch. Add a visual effect on cloak AoE, little nerf. It's kind of also a little buff though, because now you can know when it's like what it's going towards. But now you can actually see like how fucking huge this AoE gets, man. Isn't this kind of fucking mental? That like this is a thing you throw out? Like this is a fucking like, you know, what? Like no items? Okay, like fucking 2 items. You know, 16 spirit power, 12 spirit power items. No, sorry. 36 spirit power items. And you're doing fucking that AoE of 210 damage? Isn't that kind of crazy? Pocket change was the TLDR. Item changes overall pretty good for Pocket outside of Phantom Strike, which got nerfed. Actual Pocket changes were a nerf to Barrage damage amp. An attempted change that bugged him out with Cloak that didn't really matter. Lower stun interval is big, I feel. Yep, you're 100% right. And there was one other change, I think, but I don't remember what it was. I can check. Oh, Barrage slow slightly decreased. These changes, they matter, but we're okay. And the item changes were good for us, so I think we'll take it today. I was expecting some nerfs. Bullet resist, base reduced by 8% on 7. Bullet resist no longer scales with boons, so 7's bullet resist got nerfed a lot. Headshot reduction increased though, so headshotting 7 is worse than it used to be. Well, but it has less bullet resist overall. So it might end up being that headshotting is like similar amounts of damage to how it was before, but body shots now do a lot more. Stormcloud damage reduced, Stormcloud max radius reduced, Stormcloud cooldown reduced, Stormcloud audio is now clearer when first cast. So overall, these changes are the important ones. These changes don't matter so much. 7 ult was never really that important, at least in terms of like high level play. It's pretty easy to counter a lot of the time. It's very rare that like a 7 ult ends up being like this big impactful thing. These changes, super important. This means that 7 is now easier to kill, pretty much always, and does not scale as well into being hard to kill. These are 2 like big changes. Shiv fixed the issue with serrated knives sitting behind walls. Looks like they fixed lots of these things. Slice dice damage reduced by 20. That's big because it's actually like a 40 damage reduction when you have rage. Bloodletting with deferred damage reduction cleared by reduced by 10%. Wow. These are big nerfs. Big nerfs. Healing blow bonus damage from full rage reduced from plus 25 to plus 20. Tier 2 now also increases rage amp by 5%. I don't really understand what the change means, so let's go Shiv. Oh, I see. Oh, okay. It's talking about the passive part of it. I forgot this had a passive on it. Now when you're at full rage, you get 5% less damage, but you get it back at tier 2. So you get 2 points in your ult, you get your 5% damage back. Otherwise, you lose 5% damage. Vindicta base bullet damage reduced by 1. Vindicta stake duration reduced by 0.25 at tier 1. Crow Familiar now reduces bullet armor by 6%. Wow, interesting. Assassinate bonus goal is now shared with his sisters. Dude, they want Vindicta support to be a thing is what I'm reading. Crow Familiar impact damage reduced by 10. Crow Familiar impact spirit scaling, okay, reduced. Duration scaling, reduced. Okay. You can now use stamina while flying to get an imp. Wow. Dude, they really gave some Vindicta some stuff. Viscous Puddle Punch now correctly knocks people in the cube in the air. Okay. Various camera issues, thank you. Puddle Punch now telegraphs an effect before it forms. Okay, interesting. Oh my god, that's so slow. You can like reactively roll out of this, I think. Or almost. Yeah, if you go the right direction, you can reactively roll out of that. I'm delaying a lot of my roll. Bullet damage reduced. Splatter damage reduced. Turn rate improved! Let's go! We're fucking ball maxing! We're fucking balling today, boys! We're balling today! Yeah, I worked out what they meant. We're fucking balling, motherfuckers! Oh, they nerfed everything but the ball. They said the ball is back. All right, guys. Another big change. So it's a 1.25 second stun lockout. By default, you have 1 second stun on ball. So that means there's 0.25 seconds between like if you like hit. Oh, okay. This is weird now. Hold on, because they changed it. So you bounce 1.25 second, and you can bounce them again. Okay. What this means? This is a big change. Okay. Now we have real tech with ball. Because you go superior duration on ball, and you have 1.32 second stun duration. That means that you can stun for longer than somebody without debuff reducer is gonna be, or you can stun for longer than like the time between your stuns can be. So you can perma-stun people, is what I'm saying. So this means you can have something like this set up, and you ult, like Phantom Strike on somebody, stun them once, Warp Stone, stun. Okay, I messed it up. Okay, so like stun. Fuck, how do you do it? Stun. Motherfucker. Stun, E-shift on them. What the fuck? It's impossible. Stun, E-shift. Stun. Okay. You see what I mean? There's some like... Okay, if you get them in a corner, by the way. Okay, I didn't even realize this. But you get them in a corner, you can do this, apparently. So that's tech. Like roll somebody. E-shift, roll off to them. Then like blink, you know, Phantom Strike shit. Dude, that's kind of crazy, actually. This is kind of real now, right? Like, okay. Let's imagine there's like a real situation, okay? Let me kill my Kelvin in them. So you Phantom Strike, stun, E-shift, stun, Warp Stone, stun, like 1 or some shit. This hero, man. This hero. I mean, they nerfed the annoying things though. He actually has to play the game as Ball now. He actually has to, you know, play the hero. As opposed to this fucking dumb bullshit. Warden, bullet growth reduced. Alchemical flask debuff duration reduced. Alchemical flask radius reduced. You gain 50% bullet resistance during the 2-second channel of the ult. So, you can more often ult and get it out. A lot of the time you found Wardens dying during ult, in the early game especially. It's more often that they're going to get it out and start healing. This means you have to play very, very carefully around Wardens now, as soon as they hit their 3,000 soul mark. Interesting change. Otherwise, it's nerfs across the board for it. So, we'll see how that one plays out. Wraith, card trick damage reduced. Card trick spirit scaling increased by 0.3. Card trick's projectile spawn above the reticle rather than on the left side. Huh, interesting. Yamato. Alright, here we are. Ammo now scales with spirit power. Do we need that? Why do we want that? Does that help us at all? Power slash damage reduced a little. Grapple. Post cast duration reduced by 0.3. Thank the fucking lord. Oh my god. Old fire fixed to work with conditional damage sources. Yep. Shadow transformation. Bullet and spirit resist reduced. Can now interrupt power slash with parry. Just parry, don't even slash. What is post cast duration? It means after you cast and you connect on somebody, there was a 0.5 second where you couldn't do anything. Now there's only 0.2. And then you can press your spell. Or do something. Power slash and then parry right after. Oh, so you're saying now if I press it again. Oh shit. So you can like have something like this. And you press this. Oh man. It just, this is 1,000 damage, motherfucker. Fuck you. It's not intended. It's not intended. It's not intended. No, they just tried to make it so you can do this, and they messed up. That's really funny. Okay, lane changes, inner lane changes. Whoa, that map is different. That looks, maybe I'll get used to it. It looks very big though. Is the first thing I notice. I do prefer the colors. Although I think the problem is, I don't know how quickly I'm gonna use saying green lane. I feel like it's gonna be awkward for me, you know? It's fine. I'm kidding. I think green is a better color for it as well. Inner lane. Added connections from the shop to the front department store. What the fuck is this? Wow. Huh. Aren't you like so vulnerable here now? Oh, but I guess you have this angle to play out of, which is pretty sick, right? Like you can fucking see us like half creeps here. Yeah, you could get like shit thrown at you here easier. But this could happen anyway. I don't know how this is gonna change. This actually might be better for this side, to be honest. Because playing from here looks like really powerful. Like you have this bit of cover to play on and then you can just go back, you know? Moved catwalk stair in front of department store and you look oracle closer to mid. This is talking about this stairs, I guess? Yeah, this stairs. We got moved a little closer to mid. Base changes. Let's go to base and have a look around first. What am I seeing here? This looks the same. This visually looks different, I think. Angled the walkway connection from the outer lane exits to the inner lane exits. Add an overhang below the patron position. Oh, yep. That there is. Added 2 juke closets facing the patron. Ah, interesting. Rope changes. Remove exterior ropes from a garage and nightclub. Replace interior stairwells with ropes inside garage and nightclub that give access to the second floor and roof. I don't know how this change actually pans out. So the ropes on the outside there, I felt like they were really nice when you were diving and stuff. Under mid. It was really nice to have these ropes to get out onto these buildings and like have an escape. So it probably makes diving a little harder, but it used to be like that anyway, so it's not a big deal. Raised apothecary and imported rooftop to match heights of record store and the comedy club. Removed rooftop details from roofs that are not safe. Added rooftop details to rooftops that are safe. Changed collision on the inside shelves of the armory and warehouse to improve shooting through them. I think that'll be the shelves. I can show you guys this. Like shooting through these will be better now. Like I can shoot like here, yeah. And like here. Yeah. Nice. This was really annoying when you're trying to break these boxes. Let's go through and do a rundown of stuff that is like important. 24 hours. All regions open. Very cool. Minimap changed. Orange lane is now green lane. This behavior score system. So now your teammates can be less toxic. Or if they don't, they'll get banned. Lanes, on each side you will always have a 2-person lane and a 1-person lane. You will no longer have two 2-person lanes on one side. Canceling abilities is done by pressing the ability again instead of pressing space. 6% cooldown reduction cooldown increase, sorry, on everything. Flex slot move from first walker to first 2 walkers. They fucking buffed restorative shot. Mystic shot got changed in a significant way. This item is pretty different now. Warpstone got nerfed pretty significantly. Health Nova is now built out of Healing Right, but Healing Right is now a better item with +3 Spirit Power on it. Enduring Spirit has +2% more Spirit Lifesteal on it. Rescue Beam got his cost range gutted, but it comes with 500 gold cheaper. Phantom Strike got his damage completely halved, like literally halved. Soul Rebirth no longer gives weapon damage, and it gives less cooldown reduction. Mystic Reach gives more spirit resist and ability range. This item was already pretty good, so I think that's a big one, to be honest. Bebop can no longer do the thing with his hook where he can change whether it targets allies or enemies, I think. Uppercut no longer roots you while you're Bebop, though, so that means you can move while you cast it, I believe. Yeah, so you can now move while you're uppercutting on Bebop. Dynamo can now roll while he's using heal, I think. Let me double check this one too, because I want to make sure this is correct. Yeah. So Dynamo can now roll while he's using heal, but as a consequence of that, he can't, he heals less, he has worse cooldown on 2 on his entanglement, and he gets less slow from his tier 1 upgrade on his first spell. Talon gun build got really nerfed early game, but it scales a little bit better into the game. I don't know how the numbers pan out on if this is good or bad for him. My hunch is pretty bad. Inferno's got his health nerfed, but has better slow resist and flame dash, which is a big buff for this hero. He really relies on flame dash, so it's really important. Kelvin got nerfed pretty heavily, with his slow on fire rate being halved, and his slow movement speed being reduced slightly with his beam. And he can no longer guarantee rejuve with frozen shelter, because it will freeze the rejuve when it's dropping, so he can't just press frozen shelter and guaranteed punch the rejuve in it. It's going to freeze the rejuve, and the enemy gets a chance to contest. Geist got some pretty significant buffs on damage. Lash had his gun damage really killed, but had his spirit damage increased. Beginners had a lot of changes that I don't know if they matter at all. Mo and Krill can press scorning combos so he can live way longer. Pocket got some minor nerfs. Seven got a lot less tanky, but in exchange got his ult to be like a... No, he's got his ult to be a little worse as well, but lower cooldown. 7 got a little worse, but he is better with Surge of Power, because Surge of Power got buffed for him with extra fire rate. Shiv got his damage nerfed pretty heavily, along with nerfs on his bloodletting, and damage from his ult as well. Vindicta got lots of changes that seem to push towards more support Vindicta, but with the nerfs to the cast range of Restorative Shot, might end up not being good for her. Viscous had his punch and gun builds nerfed, while his Goo Ball build got buffed pretty significantly, with the stun frequency now letting you perma-stun when you buy a duration extender. Warden had some general nerfs, but a buff to his ult that makes it so he has 50% bullet resist while channeling, along with a buff to slowing hex, which is maybe his favorite item in the game. Wraith had a nerf to card early, the scale's better though, and Yamato received a very nice quality of life change on grapple, which led to her press spells 0.2 seconds after as opposed to 0.5, and then some changes to the map as well. I think that goes over everything. What do you think will have the most impact? It's hard to say. Kelvin nerfs are really big because this hero was like super oppressive for a lot of games. The Vindicta changes are interesting. This hero got changed a lot. Viscous also was super oppressive before, and they've buffed the build that I think is more fun on it though. So we'll see how it goes. These two changes, I think Viscous and Kelvin are pretty significant though. I think these two are like really big ones. Phantom Strike nerf is a big nerf to this item. This is probably the biggest item change. Maybe some of the small item changes are big too. It's hard to read them though. Is that impactful? And then the map changes I think are pretty big, especially the one on the mid lanes. Guys, that's it. That's the patch. We did it. We made it through. We got what we wanted. We did it all, boys. We did it all. It was a good day today. I'll see you guys later.